Hey friends, Shadylikeatree here, and welcome into Reminiscing with Shady, episode 86. This is Sammy Sosa Softball Slam on the PlayStation 1. This game was originally released in North America on February 29th, 2000. It was developed and published by 3DO Publishing. I do know this game was also released on PC, however I cannot find any information pertaining to that specific release, although I do remember it being produced by 3DO. A little bit of background on this game. This game is very similar to backyard baseball, except for it's adults, and it's softball. It's slow pitch softball at that. Basically, Sammy Sosa, who was a very famous baseball player at the time, he had hit a ton of home runs and was really popular in Chicago, was the kind of main figure behind this game. He's also perfect 10s across the board, even though I did just strike out with him. Basically, the goal of the game is simple. It's just like any other baseball game. You just try to outscore the other team, while also keeping the team you're facing's runs at a limited. Way back in the day, I had this game on PC, and I never actually had the opportunity to play it. This is probably one of the most frustrating stories of gaming from my childhood, because I wanted nothing more than to be able to play this game. But I wasn't able to because for some reason it wouldn't install and it wouldn't work on my PC. We tried for months and months, and we consulted tons of people to try to get it to work, and it just wouldn't work. And maybe that's why I can't find any information on it on PC, because maybe it actually wasn't the full game. I don't really remember. This is in a time when I didn't know a whole lot about computers, and not many people did. But anyway, this kind of game reminds me of a highlight of my life, and that's the home run derby, Powerball. I forget what their name is now. It changes periodically. But essentially they're home run derby softball hitters, and they come to Cincinnati at Reds games once or twice a year, and they hit these balls, just absolutely crush them. It's a good time for everyone all involved, and I absolutely love going and watching those boys hit them. I mean, we're talking like dudes that from the waist up are giant, massive men, and they're hitting softballs off the scoreboard, into the river, off the upper deck. I mean, they almost knocked a poor woman out when I was there one time because she got clocked in the head because she wasn't paying attention. And that's what this game kind of reminds me of. But this game, for the time, I think it's, if you kind of compare it to 2000, it has very similar mechanics and graphics to Triple Play Baseball 2000, which has been featured in Reminiscing with Shady prior to this. But they also have a lot of the different animations. There's also co-ed, so there's boys, there's men and women. I shouldn't say boys and girls, men and women are a part of this squad, and it takes me a while to kind of get the hang of it, but I eventually do get the hang of this game. I do highly recommend this. It's a lot of kind of fun just for what it is. It's really kind of cheap to play, and it's still a fun experience. It's very simple, very arcadey, which I think kind of helps out. A lot of the critics of this game just say it's just all around terrible. It wasn't uncommon when I was looking up this game to see reviews in the neighborhood of 3, 3.5, 4. People weren't really impressed with it. I'm not really sure why. I didn't run into any issues with it throughout my time with this game, which was about 2.5, 3 hours. I think this can totally be one of those fun kind of arcadey style games that's just a general good time with friends, and something that I don't really think should be taken too seriously as a baseball or softball simulation. I mean, after all, it's kind of just meant to be silly fun and not something super serious like the MLBs of this era or the Triple Play baseballs of this area. Like with a lot of these older games, I found it kind of difficult at first to get the hang of what I was swinging at, what I was trying to throw, and kind of understand how to do better. But you do get the hang of it after a while, and you kind of become comfortable with the controls. You become comfortable with how the CPU is trying to do things to you, and what you have to do to kind of counteract that. The only really other good softball-related story that I have to share with you guys is a story that my dad sometimes will tell. That he was in a softball league with Bob Evans, the former owner who's now deceased, of the Bob Evans restaurant franchise. It's kind of like a home cooking kind of restaurant, dine-in restaurant chain. It's a chain. It's kind of hard to explain, but they serve like home-cooked food, like chicken and noodles, mashed potatoes, turkey and gravy, meatloaf, things like that, things that you would have in your own, things that like your mom would make, essentially. And they serve all that in their kitchen, and they have a chain of restaurants. Well, the owner of that, who was about 70 at the time of the story, was playing, recreational softball in Southern Ohio, where my dad was playing at the time. And, he just happened to be on opposite teams as good old Bob, and Bob hit a single into the gap, and he tried to stretch it into a double, and in doing so, he slid into second and included my dad, who was covering second at the time. So my dad kind of messed up my dad's ankle a little bit. My dad kind of thinks that's his claim to fame, that he got cleared by Bob Evans in a softball game, a recreational softball game. I digress. I kind of wish I had the claim to fame that I had been cleated by someone like Bob Evans in a family-friendly softball game out to the park when I was in my late teens and early 20s, but that's life, I guess. I want to thank you guys so very much for watching. This has been episode 86 of Reminiscing with Shady, Sammy Sosa Softball Slam on the PlayStation 1. If you like this video, please let me know by leaving a like down below, or leaving a comment in the comments. Tell me what you think of this game, if you've ever played this game before, or if maybe you have any similar experiences to what I've had with this game, or, well, anything kind of related to softball, I guess, too. Thanks again, guys, for watching, and DFTBA.